200 former Republican presidential staffers signed open letter endorsing Harris over Trump. This cracks me up. This, like the fact that that's the headline and this is the image of her just laughing, like 200. It included people like everyone who's ever worked in the cabinet for Donald Trump. I think even Mike Pence signed it. Everyone signs this open letter. Mitt Romney signed it. George W. Bush signed it. People who worked for George H.W. Bush or people who worked for Mitt Romney, fellow moderate Republicans, conservative independents, to join them in backing Harris and her running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, over Trump and his vice presidential pick, Senator Shady J.D. Vance of Ohio. Of course, we have plenty of honest ideological disagreements with Vice President Harris and Governor Walz, the Republicans wrote, noting the significance of a handful of battleground states that proved crucial to Democrat Joe Biden's slim margin of victory in 2020. That's to be expected. The alternative, however, is simply untenable. It's fucking all these people who started the Lincoln Project, Olivia Troy. Oh, yeah. And also Bush staffer and Homeland Security advisor to Trump's vice president, Mike Pence. It's everyone from chief of staff to intern has signed this thing. And I think it's great. They did something similar last year or last time, but I think it's kind of funny. 200 people. There's always a few. Do you remember when Zell Miller challenged, would switch teams, went to the RNC? Zell Miller was a Democrat and he went to the RNC with George W. Bush, I think. I think it was George Bush. And Chris Matthews said, "Why are you doing your turncoat?" And he's like, I wish it was the days of the duel. I would challenge you to a duel right now. And I'm like, and everyone just laughed at him, challenge him to a duel. So there's always a little bit of like of switching sides. But 200, bro, and all these people that worked for you. Could you imagine? I'd be so embarrassed. I worked with a lot of people. If a bunch of people wrote an open letter to like my my current employer and was like, "Don't work with Sky. Sky is a horrible boss and he sucks. He's going to ruin everything." Another 4 years of Donald Trump's chaotic leadership, this time focused on advancing the dangerous goals of Project 2025, will hurt real everyday people and weaken our sacred institutions. I don't know. Broad Democratic movements will be irreparably jeopardized as Trump and his acolyte J.D. Vance kowtow to dictators like Vladimir Putin while turning their backs on our allies. Bro. Trump's campaign spokesperson, Stephen Chung, called the letter hilarious because nobody knows who these people are. I know who they are. I know that they're people that you know who they are. Trump knows who they are. A lot of people know who they are. And there's 200 of them. 200. Like, man, how embarrassing. More than, oh, God. I would cry. I would cry. I almost feel bad for him. I almost feel bad for Trump. Oh, God. I just want to show whoever makes the society less greedy and more programs for people in need. I think that's a good thing to look at. I mean, look, I endorse no, but I won't endorse anybody who isn't vegan. So I endorse none of these fools. But I gotta vote. It's my civic duty. So I'm gonna vote for somebody. But I love the sanctity of the anonymous ballot in America. This is very important. No one will ever know who I voted for. I'm gonna keep it secret till the day I die. Who I voted for in the 2024 election. You're just gonna have to use your imagination, try to figure out who I voted for. But 200, his brothel plane of pedophile. Yes, Donald Trump owns the plane, the brothel plane, the sex trafficking plane that used to be owned by um, Jeffrey Epstein. It's it's like it's so perverse. You couldn't make it. People ask like, why are people calling them weird? That's fucking weird, bro. That's fucking weird, man. Totally weird. How could you trust Trump to care about poverty and the job market being unfair? This is the thing. She worked at McDonald's. She has immigrant parents. She was born poor and had to work for everything she ever had. And then you have this other guy who's rich and says that she slept her way to the top and only got her jobs because of the color of her skin. Well, it just goes to show who's who right there. These fucking this is these rich people, people who strike it rich or are born rich. They're always like, oh, look at all these other people trying to work for a living, suckers. Like, she worked at McDonald's. I love it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I, I mean, I hate McDonald's, but the fact that she used to work at McDonald's, I dig it, man. She seems to be like a real American. That's all. She looks like America. Yeah. They don't know who they are. Bro's deflecting hard, coping hard for sure. It feels so dystopian that leaders like Putin and Kim Jong Un exist. Yes, and Trump wants to be like them, and I think that that's really scary too. That's dystopian. Is that the Americans now have a leader who a lot of people believe in, who wants to be more like Putin, Kim Jong Un, Pol Pot. And don't stop at just the the despots du jour. We also have all of those who came before, people like Stalin, people like Adolf, strong Franco, iron fisted strong men governors. It's a weird thing though. People ask me all the time, like, what would I ask Donald Trump if I ever met him? And I think the thing I would ask him is like, man, is all this worth it? Like, is this worth it? Like, you're not gonna see your family, man. You're gonna die in a few years. He's 80. What's he gonna get? 10 more years tops? I mean, probably not. Jane Goodall's 90, and she ain't got much left, and she's sort of vegetarian, vegan, good plant-based dieter type person. So she's probably taking pretty good care of herself. She looks pretty good for 90. She's still traveling around. Is he gonna make it to 90? He's 80 right now. I don't think so. Is it worth it fighting so hard for this? Like, he could have easily said, "Mea culpa, folks. Okay, everyone love. It was a cash grab. It didn't come up my way. Okay, I'll take the pardon. America can go back to what they were doing before I came around." Like, they could do that. Like, he's developing a Daffy Duck lisp. There's clearly something going on with him. He is not all there. He's not okay. The man is not okay. You could look at interviews of Donald Trump 15 years ago and look at what they are today. And that's about as long as we've had to deal with this crap. Maybe he actually does care. Trump wants legacy. Legacy. I don't think, what's the legacy? That he's going to put his kids in office? Like, what does he think's going to happen? The legacy is not looking good now. He served as president. He should have been working on his legacy, like building a Trump library, and trying to rewrite history. Take a painting like George W. Bush. George W. Bush is painting pictures. He's incredible, and he's an interesting little war criminal. We let our war criminal president simply retire, and it's okay. The country's got to move on. We can't just sit there and relitigate the past over and over. We like to let him go. Look what we did with Nixon. Nixon resigned. We let him resign, and then Gerald Ford pardoned him so that we can all get back to, I don't know, fucking basically, yeah, playing video today. People don't have sex anymore, they just play video games. So it'll be that they'll just, if Trump went away today and they pardoned him, everyone could go back to just playing Call of Duty like they were in 2020 during the pandemic. It would be great.